Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Jenna. Hello. Oh,
Morning.
nice. Like to see all these faces. Welcome, everybody. Hop on in. Who did the homework last night? Drop a 1 in the chat if you did your homework. Jenna says 2. Didn't do it. Okay. 1. Happy Tuesday. Yay. Yeah, so the homework is just going to keep building upon itself. If you didn't do the homework, it's no worries. You just can do it tonight as you keep building in. The homework is going to help, is just going to help you answer the questions that come up the next day a lot easier. I'll give you some examples. So make sure today's homework is going to be a really meaty part of the work. So make sure we get our homework in today. Yeah, crazy busy. I totally get it. I get it. How was the homework for everybody? Or how are you feeling about you didn't do the homework. How are you guys feeling? Homework buddies. Yeah, maybe we all need homework buddies. I could see that.
It wasn't as hard as I thought.
It wasn't as hard as you thought? Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Everybody. Hey.
Hey, John. It was inspiring to read everybody's homework too. I feel like that was so helpful. Once somebody starts putting in their homework and being vulnerable in there, so please go back and put your homework in there, today's homework. And if you didn't, you just move on and be like, okay, we're going to do today's homework is really getting into the core of yourself and your branding. So today's homework is really want to encourage everybody to take the time to do it so that we can workshop it tomorrow together. But today is one of my favorite days of this workshop because we are going to get into the meaty stuff of like, who are you? What do you stand for? What does it look like when somebody stands for something? Who stands for something in your life that affects you, that has shifted things for you? And that's going to be the work that we do together as a team in this call, and also tonight that you guys will do individually.
Yeah, absolutely. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. I'm John Kleinbell. This is Sonnet Simmons. I think I'm pointing in the right direction, maybe.
That's me.
We're the co-founders of 2Indie, and we're so happy that you're all here for One Sheet Wonders. This is day 2. Day 1 was so awesome. There was so much energy, and we love that you're here. We love that. The thing is, like, you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to put a new stamp on what it is you do, and you didn't want to say that super loud to the world, and it was really evidenced by the amount of homework that came in yesterday. There was like over 48 different comments on the homework thread. Cinder Shine, you did such a great job. By the way, big round of applause to Cinder for helping rally everybody so that they knew where to drop their homework in. That was so awesome. We're going to be going through so much today. Like Sonnet said, we're going to be going through the why of all of this. But just to do a really quick refresh, because some people might not have been here yesterday. Yesterday, we really spent a lot of time talking about branding, why branding's important. First, what is it? Why is branding important, and how do I build an effective brand? So we laid all of that out. We laid out the game plan, and now we're going to really just start to kind of dig in there. So if you didn't catch yesterday's call, the replay is live in our Sync It group. It's also available on YouTube. We just posted it yesterday. Are we
streaming right now, by the way?
We are not streaming to Facebook, so that's a good reminder. Let me just go ahead and do that right now. Let me go live on Facebook, and maybe you can say a thing or two while I do that.
Say a thing or two, for sure. All right, so yeah, we've done a quick review of what was yesterday. Please catch the replay. It's very easy to find. It's on the Facebook group. It's also sent an email out to everybody. So I just don't want anybody to feel like they're behind and where they might give up here. We're only at day 2, and this is when it gets really, really meaty. So I wanted to make sure everybody was on here, and then I want to just take a minute. Oh, thanks. Got it. Okay. A minute to talk about defining your brand, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Your music business needs a purpose. And that purpose defines your brand. It defines how you show up in the world. It gives you the value that other people can see why they need to work with you, why they need your music, how your music is helpful, how it changes the listener's day, how they want to follow you or stream your music, or they want to have your song licensed to the ad or the television show. That purpose is felt. That is why we have our favorite artists that changed our lives. We feel their purpose. And so we're gonna dive into what that is. And I want to do a quick little like reset here where everybody closes their eyes. Are you ready for that, John? Or is there anything else you want to add before we do that?
I did want to do a reset, but I want to do a reset for everybody who's live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. I'm John. This is Sonnet. We're here. We're the co-founders of 2Indie. We're doing One Sheet Wonders all week this week at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, this is all about artist branding. So yesterday we talked about, if you didn't catch the replay, it's in that group, and it's also live on YouTube on our YouTube channel, which is 2Indie. And yeah, you can catch it there. So you'll be able to catch up on like what is branding, why is it important, and what is the game plan for establishing a new brand as an artist. And then today we're just gonna be diving into the why. So welcome everybody. We're glad you're here. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Just wanted to make sure we reset the room for everybody over on Facebook now that I think we're all caught up.
No, that's important. Okay. So I wanted to take a moment to have everybody kind of just drop in to themselves, because we're going to give you some really good questions that are questions that we need honest answers in order to do this work. That the kind of questions where you're connected to yourself and your purpose and your vision and what you really want, not what you feel like you're supposed to want or what you feel like that's the right answer will get you the results you want. We really, really want to get to the core. So everybody take a moment to close their eyes. I can see all of you. So if you're not closing your eyes, I can see you, Jenna. All right, I'm going to close my eyes too now. Everybody close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it at the top. Hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out. Oof, let's do that one more time. Everybody in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out. And I just want you to keep your eyes closed for another minute here. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your sit bones in your seat. Wiggle your fingers. Put your hands on your heart. Put them on your shoulders. Just give yourself a moment here to be like, okay, I've got myself here. Like, I'm with you. And we're going to answer these questions in a really honest, clear way. And I'm here because I'm supposed to be here. I'm showing up here with my whole heart. All right, you guys, you can wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. This is not a meditation class, so we're going to open up our eyes and get into the work. All right.
It's great to just
2 breaths can just reset your life.
You just said exactly what I was going to say.
Oh.
Nice. Yeah, that was great, Sonnet. Awesome. And yeah, just wanted to also, before we dive too much into stuff, just wanted to again commend everybody for such a nice job on the homework. There were so many comments that were dropped in, and maybe we could even just really quickly just acknowledge a couple of people who dropped in the homework. Nancy Ann Gonseth, I see you there. Leslie Shells Noel, Ron Izari. I saw John Valadis drop his homework in. 7 on Sunday dropped their homework in. And Nelda Spence. This is awesome. Thanks, everybody. We are paying attention to who's doing the homework and who isn't, and there may be some incentive for doing all of the homework. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, there may be some incentives for doing all the homework. So definitely keep on the homework, and if you haven't done it, it's not too late to get started. For anybody who's in the chat who did the homework, how long would you say it took you to do the homework? How long did it take you? 5 minutes.
30 minutes, 15 minutes.
15 minutes? Yeah, so you're not that far behind. You're not far behind here. So just to keep that in mind. This is homework worth
inspired. Kevin got to work there. That's awesome.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So
Work.
the next,
It's the
oh,
foundation
go
is
ahead.
important. I was just gonna
Hours.
say the foundation is important here. So, you know, it's really key to do it. So we lay this all out in like a specific sequence for a reason.
Yeah.
Glad you liked the assignment, Susan. Yeah. It's fun, right? It's fun just because the thing is, this is such an easy thing. It's such an easy thing because it is really like it taps into what you love. It taps into what is real about you. And because everything you do as an artist is going to be a direct reflection of yourself. So in a way, it's a little egotistical in a way. It's actually very easy to dive into like the things that you already enjoy, the artists that you like, and putting it into words is not that tough, right? Because it's something, I don't know, it should be like super fun, right?
Yeah. And
It's a
I
great
would also say like there's this twofold of like you create music because you want to be self-expressed and share something that's real. And also we create music and we're like, but what's going to get the sync and what's going to get the record deal and what's going to get the plays? And like we're outside of what is actually real. And so it's a gift to say, or it's such a relief to be like, but what am I making? Why am I making this? What do I have to share? What is it about what I really have to do? And coming back to that, because it's like, it's a relief to know that's what really matters. And that's what industry is looking for. That's what people want to be moved. They want to hear something different. They want to hear something refreshing. They want to feel what you actually have to say. So without further ado, let's dive into these questions. We've got quite a number of questions that we want you guys to take a couple of minutes to answer. And we'll have some discussion around it. But this is going to be the beginning seeds that we're going to plant of really starting to dive into what's inside there, what's inside. So should we put the timer on 2 minutes for each person? Get out your pens and your papers.
There's just one quick thing I wanted to say before we
Oh, okay.
jump into the. Yeah, just one quick, because we're like the thing is today it's all about starting to define the brand, and that starts on the inside. It's like your music business needs a purpose. And we all know that a ship without any destination goes somewhere, but it's not likely to go to the place that you want it to go. So let's give your art some bearings with this. This is what these questions are all about. It's about finding like what are the bearings you want to set for what you're doing with your brand and you're doing with your music career. So that's just the table that I wanted to set with these questions. Obviously, like setting the intention of being open to the process is also like really important because there's probably some untapped stuff in here that you haven't allowed to express itself through what you're offering publicly before.
Yeah.
And so it's like this is really like important work. It can be scary. It can definitely be very exciting and thrilling though.
Yeah.
Because like you're riding that edge sometimes because it's like, oh, there's stuff in the past that's maybe has kind of held you back, or there's things that it's so exciting you can't really you don't want to do it because you're just like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen if I go down this road. But like we want to encourage you. We're going to push you. And it's going to be a series of questions here. We're going to be going through. And like Sonnet said, be prepared to do a lot of work today because this is going to be an action call. It's going to be an action call. Y'all ready? Drop a one in the chat if you're ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Drop a one. All right. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, I'm going to set the alarm. And you guys have 2 minutes for each one. You can always go back and, go more into depth later. The first question is, what do you hope to achieve through your music? What are your goals? What do you hope to achieve through your music? What are your goals? There's no right or wrong answer. Just let it all come out.
You've only got 2 minutes, so there's not really any time to even think about it. Just get it out onto paper or onto your screen. What do you hope to achieve through your music, and what are your goals? To anybody who's just tuning in, we're starting some writing exercises. There's going to be a lot of writing today.
Feel free to drop it in the chat.
Yeah, I can see some people have already been inspired and dropped it right in.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. There's some very specific goals here. Full-time sync writer. 12 songs done every single month.
Wow.
It's fine
Got
if you
about
hand
10
wrote,
more seconds.
and it's okay if you're not done. You can always finish this after the call's over, and we encourage you to do it.
I love
Okay,
this. Thank you guys for
love this
sharing.
stuff. All right, so yeah, if you haven't dropped it in the chat, drop it in the chat. Let's discuss. So to feel deeply all the things, raw connection, to use my music for edification and enjoyment of others. I want to sustain my family financially with my music career.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. There's like a blend of like the soul fulfilling aspects of being an artist with the practical aspects of needing to support yourself as a human being in our society. Love it. To be remembered, leave a legacy of love and financial abundance for my family. I want to make a comfortable living through my music. I want to make music that makes people want to either feel their feelings, bop their heads and dance, laugh, and or write their own songs. In a way, inspiring people, like passing the torch to somebody else too. Love it. So you're not looking to just like have an emotional feeling that is conveyed to other people, but you're actually looking to inspire others to do what you're doing. Very cool.
Yeah, these are great answers. All right, I'm going to give you guys another exercise here, another question, 2 minutes. Why did you start making music? Like, think back to the beginning of your music days. Were you 3? Were you 5? Were you 12? Were you 20? Why were you making music? Yeah. Great, Sarah.
The question again is,
Jessica.
why did you start
Ron.
making music? This is great. Isn't it interesting how this question seems like it's something that's very easy to tap into for a lot of people? Perhaps because it's something that, you know, our spark and our joy for music comes at a very, very early age.
I was bored. Yeah, because that's, actually they say like children aren't picking up guitars. They aren't, they're watching video games. Like they don't have that boredom to push them to these things that turn into careers, turn into hobbies, turn into loves.
I didn't know how not to. It's in your DNA. It's in your purpose. No clue why. Songs just came to me in my head. I had the same thing happen to me when I was a little kid. I actually just used to write stories, and and then I'd get like one of those 2-ring or whatever binders, the spiral notebooks, and I'd just start like drawing stories and stuff. I didn't write songs until I was in college, but I was writing. I didn't start writing songs until I was in college, but I wrote stories when I was a little kid. I was always singing stuff.
I wrote my first musical in 3rd grade. Little Mermaid. All right, time's up.
All right,
These
let's
are
discuss
awesome.
let's dive into some of this a little bit. Started writing at 12 as self-healing and music therapy. Like you knew the medicine that you needed at that age. It's amazing. I always loved making up melodies on our little toy piano, then eventually started teaching myself how to play Beatles songs on my uncle's piano when I was 7.
Wow.
I wrote songs starting at age 6, started with real songs at 16. Cool. Yeah. People always give me a hard time about not knowing old
Mm.
classic movies because I never watched TV. I always shut myself in my room and listened to music.
Mm.
That was in a way that was like, everybody tries to escape from life in some form or another. Like some people watch TV, some people listen to the radio, some people go outside and play baseball. Some people, like myself in high school for large stretches, would go in and put on an album, turn off the lights, put on a pair of headphones and just listen to it from beginning to end,
Mhm.
you know?
Amazing. Escape, comfort, and healing. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Started as a toddler.
Why did you start making music?
Buddy.
It comes from an early age. Comes from an early age, and your why. Like, we're already starting to get at the why. Like, why are you here? Why are you here at this One Sheet Wonders workshop? Why are you making music?
Yeah. All right, next question. How do you want your listeners to feel when they hear your music? How do you want your listeners to feel, Frisky, when they hear your music?
Like someone gets them. I think that's such a beautiful statement. Because I feel like each and every one of us here on this call is uniquely gifted to reach out to specific people in the community, in the industry, fans that are out there, music listeners that are out there. We each have our own unique experiences, which uniquely positions us to be the people to deliver messages of perhaps inspiration, hope, encouragement, or sometimes it's like sadness. Sometimes you need a genuinely sad song. I think we've all had periods where, I know I definitely had a period of a couple of years where I was listening to Jeff Buckley and Elliott Smith, and, it's what I needed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Something real that got me, got where I was feeling at that time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want your listeners to feel when they hear your music?
Make sure you guys are writing this down for yourselves too.
Yeah, definitely keep note of that.
Mm.
Happy and energized. There's a time in my life where I never thought I'd be able to write a song that was happy and authentic and not cheesy.
All right, finish up. The time is up. I just think there's so much power in all of these questions so far, as there's connection keeps coming up, whether that's connect and help elevate, connect and help you feel seen. Connect is why we are attracted to different songs in whatever part we are in our lives, or why somebody might choose your song for that brand, because it connects. There's a connection there that people that follow that brand are also going to connect to the story that the song that you have. And I think that's such a powerful word, because it goes way beyond music. It's about the human experience that we're having here together on this planet of needing to connect with one another. And there's so many different ways to do it. All of this are examples in which we connect. Next question. What?
I was just there was another comment that got dropped in that said like they need to listen on repeat. So the feeling is that they've been, I guess, entranced by whatever it is that you're putting out there, and they've got to like hit the rewind button and listen to it again.
Good songs. It's like the only song you want to hear for like months.
Yeah. Again, it's like that at that moment, there could be a song that you so relate to in your life because of any number of things. You just got a promotion, and so you just want to like play songs that remind you of that and make you feel so good, right? And maybe remind you of money, It's like, I'm rolling in it, Or there could be a breakup or a loss in the family and that kind of stuff. And all you want to do is listen to sad, introspective, acoustic singer-songwriter stuff. You know, it's really, but that one song could be the thing that you're just listening to obsessively because it so gets where you're at that point in time. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to connect with people in their points in time on their timeline in this lifetime. And, you know, it's amazing what we can do with that.
I was on the phone yesterday with a guy named Steve Baltin who writes for the Rolling Stones. He's basically interviewed every artist you can imagine. And he has a new book coming out where he's interviewed 12 artists that are like the anthems of our lives, like some of the biggest songs. And he's like, the thread through all of them is that these songs have become bigger than the artist. You know, you put them out into the world, you have no idea how they're going to affect the world, and how we, you know, they're like, it's like having children. You have this child, and they grow up to be their own thing. And so we make this music to connect, to have these people, to have our audience hear us, to have a brand hear that, but it becomes so much bigger than us. We let it go out into the world when we come from a place of this like authenticity in our music making. It can be so expansive. It can carry on way beyond our dreams, our intentions for it. And it becomes something for all these other people in the world, something like their anthem. Okay, next.
How's everybody
do you
doing
worry?
with all this?
Oh.
Just real quick on it. How's everybody doing with this? Do you feel like you're getting closer to your why? Can you drop it in the chat? Do you feel like through these questions you're getting closer to the why you're making music? Why
wow,
you're
Jessica, that's so cool. I want to hear more about that, Jessica.
Yes, not feeling so afraid. Really
Peter
helpful.
Gabriel, yeah, I bet he is.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like honing in. We're like slowly starting to target in where your why is. It is tough to put into words, isn't it, David? But the thing is, it's almost like you're painting a picture, and like any one of the brush strokes just only informs like one part of the frame, part of the canvas. But we slowly start to brush with these questions. We start to brush it in, and then by the end of today, hopefully you get a fully formed painting or something that gives you a really distinct impression of what it looks like. And then continue through this week to keep dialing that in so that we can get there. And the homework today is really going to help with all this as well. It's going to help the answers all these questions, why it's really important for you to write down the answers to these questions separately from just dropping them in the chat, is because you're going to need the answers to these questions in order to do your homework tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Your next question is, what do you worry about? And what societal causes inspire you or straight up concern you? It can be about society. It can be about you. It can be about your family. It can be about what worries you. What keeps you up at night and worries you? What do you worry about?
Yeah, so the question is, what do you worry about? What societal causes inspire or perhaps even straight up concern you?
And it also could be like, I worry about my kids, or I worry about, like, it doesn't have to be even a societal cause. It's just what keeps you up. What are the things that worry you? Or it could be like, I worry I'm not good enough. I worry that what it would look like if I succeed.
I love the ones, I do love the ones that are more like personally concerned, like health, financial security or insecurity, stuff like that. But I really love the ones that are talking about like society-wide implications, because they can actually become, even though the personal ones can too, they can become your rallying cry. They can become your artistic rallying cry and the thing that you are pushing forward to help address in society as part of the service that you're doing as an artist to the world. I worry about the women of Iran.
I feel like that personal one can also be that too, you know, that with both.
I
of
said
those.
it could, the personal can
Yeah,
be
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Climate, global warming, my health. Ineptness with tech. You could be the artist that helps people understand tech better. All these worries, they become almost opportunities in a way. That I won't have control over my death. Can't everybody relate to that? Leaving this place with the music still inside me.
I mean, this is like goes into your branding and goes into the work that you do to make sure you keep showing up for yourself here. Does anybody want to unmute themselves and share anything that's come up around this question for themselves? Does anybody want to share?
I'll share. This is Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Okay. I think for me, my biggest worry, and it's always been like this, is that what if I actually succeed? And then the flip of that is I'm not good enough.
Yeah. And I feel like who can relate to that? It's like it disguises itself of I better not do it because I'm not good enough. But also there's a fear of what if I do it and I succeed? Then what? Well, it's like we self-sabotage ourselves we can stay in that and self-sabotage to keep ourselves safe. And we have these self-preservation modes that we can go into so we don't have to find ourselves in that space. But I feel like that's why we have this community here to keep pushing you to show up and to see what it looks like. What were you going to say, Paul?
I was going to say, I find myself to be too arrogant in this area because I really believe, yes, I'm just as good, if not better than most. And I don't care what people think about that because my whole persona is an F you. You don't like me, so what? And that sarcastic attitude shows up in every song I write. It shows up in everything I do or say, and I don't have to try to do it because it's just who I am, a sarcastic little bitch.
But I feel like both of these things that you both have shared are things that go into your music. Like you said, this comes up in all of your music. So I'm just gonna
I feel like gratitude is my attitude. And I woke up this morning with writing a million lyrics down. I just gotta, who knows where the music part will come from.
Cool.
In my case, I try not to worry too much. I was diagnosed with severe depression at 16, and I cannot take medicine because it changes. I hear music all the time in my brain. If I take medicine, that music disappears, and yeah, that's not an option. But I'm fine now and all the stuff. What I changed all my worries is about what I'm gonna do with that. I try to keep myself busy. For example, one thing that bothers me is that these people with talent that doesn't have the resources to record, I tell them, I have the resources. Let's sit down. Let's do something. It's not gonna be Michael Jackson level music, but it's gonna be something. And the issue is the first time it's gonna suck. It's gonna sound bad, but it's something. Let's do something. And I try.
This
I worry about that part of the worry in the sense of I keep my eyes open for that opportunity.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So this is part of the whole thing with like taking the worry and taking the concern and actually taking action around that and doing something. Like this is what this is all about. This is about taking your worries and your concerns and actually incorporating them into what it is that you're doing. And like I love it that that's like almost part of your mission is to help those who don't have the resources to, you know, and they're worried and they're concerned about this because like at one point you may have had some situations where you had to like deal with some stuff and it's like I feel like it's a way in a way you're like paying forward some of the things that you've been able to face and overcome. And this is what this is all about. It's about taking these things and not like identifying them, but also identifying them as ways not only that we can use these to in order to really inform what it is that we're doing in our artist mission, but also ways in which we can connect. We identify all the people that are out there that can connect to that. So I remember from what Amanda was saying, it was like, oh, I'm worried that like my music's going to get lost in the shuffle. I can't remember exactly what you said, but it could have been something along those lines. And how many people in the world can relate to not being heard? How many people? It's like almost everybody out there. So it's like, it's just, in a way, it's so validating that these things that we bring to the surface, these things that come up, they're just ways for us to connect and they're ways for us to arm ourselves in a way with a mission. And that's really what a big part of what this aspect of the homework is all about. It's about identifying these things so we can kind of incorporate them into it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
hearing
so
all the
many-
examples.
Sorry, John. Yeah. I
Oh,
think
no.
this is a really powerful question because there's so many lines that you can draw from this. It's like, so you can base your purpose, your mission statement, your what you stand for, your, you know, you don't have to have the answer for it to be something that you are standing for. You know, like I'm afraid that like life has passed me by and I'm too late. Like you can talk about that. That can be a part of your mission. That can be a part of what wakes you up and gets you moving and the effect you want to have on the world so that you can show them that this is, I'm going through this with you. Like, come along with me. We're going to do this. Or, you know, you're one step ahead and you're able to light the way for other people behind you. And it's just, by identifying what worries you, like what's really concerning underneath all of that, like what is the buzz underneath that keeps you up at night, you have these lines that you can draw to so many different areas in your branding and in your music and in your songwriting. And it's not just one direct line. It infiltrates in so many different ways. So this is a really powerful place. There's no answer that's cheesy or that doesn't make sense. We all can relate to this, and that's a part of how we connect, and that's a part of why we do this work. Okay, another question. I skipped over one here. How do you want to be of service? Well, it kind of works actually here. How do you want to be of service through your music? Give you guys 2 minutes here to answer that.
How do you want to be a service through your music? An inspiration to teach people to be respectful towards one another.
Mm.
I want people to feel life, to want life. To inspire others to shine, to live, to dance. I hope my music will help people feel and process their emotions.
That's lovely.
Love all these answers. And to speak to what was spoken earlier, you know, sometimes it's less about like, I'm here to make the world a better place. Sometimes your whole mission in life is to entertain people.
Yeah.
Or to provide the people who have like a sarcastic point of view, like to be able to feel that their personality is being expressed in entertainment, you know, like that's important too. Doesn't always have to be a super serious thing. Some people's goal in life is to just entertain people, make them laugh,
Yeah.
to encourage fearlessness, to give people a break from reality. That's literally the definition of entertainment, isn't it? I want people to feel empowered to follow their dreams
All
and
right.
have fun.
Time's up.
Time's up.
Silliness, support. I love that. Yes. Time's up.
All right.
These are so great. Permission to accept themselves for who they are. Yeah. Feel a need for supervisors.
Yeah, and this is an important one too. It can be like a practical thing too. It's like how is what I'm doing serving the market?
Mm-hmm.
Being of service to the world doesn't necessarily have to be this thing where I'm like this heroic champion, like, you know, taking a social cause up the mountain of justice. I don't know. I'm just like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It can be, hey, I'm here to be a service to people who need music. I'm here to help fill a role, humbly fill a role, or like, you know, very, you know, proud of myself filling a role. You know, I'm proud to fill this role, you know, is another thing that you can take into it as well. I'm providing a service to the industry. I don't think one's better than the other. Although if you do have one that has some heart into it, you can do that as well as have put your heart into it as well. So
Yeah.
they're not mutually exclusive.
Okay,
Not
next
take
qu-
anyone's crap.
Not what?
Not take anyone's crap.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Uh,
next question. What are you passionate about? What lights you up? What do you just like could talk about all day that you could read articles about? So when somebody mentions, you're like, I got to talk about this too. Otters. Cat.
Cats. Gaming.
Nice
Yeah.
one.
Dance, food, nature, mental health. Mick Filet Mignon. That was from yesterday. If you didn't catch the call yesterday, definitely catch the replay because we talked about branding, talked about McDonald's and how it'd be really, you wouldn't expect to order a steak through the McDonald's drive-thru until Eddie reminded me that there's probably a trick coming up McDonald's sleeve called the Mick Filet Mignon. Narcissistic abuse and psychology. Very interesting. Yeah, and you see, this is another thing where it's like it's not always like the positive things that fascinate us. Some of us have like a morbid curiosity about certain things, and in order to like help affect change in some kind of way, or in order to arm ourselves with the information that we need in order to just be better prepared in the world,
Or to help other people avoid where you've been.
Yeah. Totally. There's all different kinds of needs, right? And motivations for doing that. I mean, I enjoy like true crime stuff. It's like fascinating to me. It's not, you know, it's just, it's like, it's an interesting thing, even though it can be so dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finding solutions, healing, creative ideas, languages. These are great. I mean, so these things that you're so passionate about, I'm noticing, you know, not everybody's saying music. So maybe it can be a thing where you're taking some of these things that you're so excited and passionate about outside of music and more incorporating them into what you're doing as an artist and doing as a music maker. All of these questions have a point in mind. So like with this, it's like, it's just thinking, it's like, again, we're brushing, we're putting little brush strokes on the canvas of your why. Making people laugh really lights me up. So humor, right?
Mhm.
Comedy. Photography. These things we're passionate about, we can't keep them on an island separate from what we do. They're a part of who we are.
Time is up.
Great job, everybody.
Yeah,
Great
we've
job.
got 2 more questions for you. We'll just dive into those. So the next one, love this. Yeah. Who are the artists, music makers you might compare yourself to?
Again, the question is, who are the artists or music makers you might compare yourself to? Doesn't have to be an artist or a band, could be a producer or songwriter, singer. I would say that aspiring to be is kind of the same as currently, because, you know, you would think that you would be currently trying to be like the people that you're aspiring to be. It can be tough. It can be tough to make comparisons. In these cases, it can help to, I'm sure everybody has had somebody remark at one point or another, an artist that you sound similar to, or it could also be a
Pieces of, you know, yeah, that's a great point. And also the pieces that like, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Love it. Some people it's just a single artist. Some people it's a whole list of folks. Which is going to be really interesting, as you'll find as we keep doing this, we're going to be talking about, you know, putting together a specific piece of marketing information, a piece of your branding package. It's called a one sheet. And it's going to be really helpful to have these reference artists. So if you're one of the people, is there anybody out there who's like, I can't even like put somebody down. I can't even put a single person down. Is there anybody? I'm just looking to see if you are one of those people, please raise your hand. I just want to see if there's anybody who's really struggling to even come up with a single reference artist. I'm not seeing any hands up. So that's good. Oh, I do see one. I see a couple. Okay. Don't fret this. It's okay. You know, it's not a big deal. What I would suggest perhaps is take some guesses. Take some educated guesses of what people might think you sound like and start from there. Or the other thing you could do is think, well, who are just 2 or 3 artists that really inspire me? Doesn't even matter if they sound like you. Do they inspire you? Because as we'll see, like, and as is proven time and time again, it's not just the music that people make, it's the things that they stand for.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you can't,
peers too. So, go ahead, John. Sorry, keep interrupting.
Yeah, no, totally true. No, I was just saying that even if you can't find a single one that sounds exactly like you, for sure there's artists out there, there's bands out there, there's producers out there that utterly inspire you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be making music if there wasn't some artist that really inspired you, right? Every single person on this call is a fan of music.
Mm-hmm. Their songs are like, man, I wished I wrote that song. I wish that was my song.
All right, Anelda, I see you there. Sarah Bareilles, maybe. Dido, throwback. Yeah. I think I saw you were one of the folks who had their hand up there. So that's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, you know, and this isn't like set in stone either. It's not like we're going to go back 5 years from now and say, hey, Anelda we remember when you wrote down Sarah Bareilles as your main reference. Like, we're not going to go back and enforce this. So this is, it's like artwork. We're helping you to find your why, and it's like, it's a process. So don't worry, you can always change this.
Artist head. Ooh, so good. Dido. Obsessed. Obsessed.
Some good artists in here. This is
Mhm.
awesome.
All right. Last
One other
question here.
question.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, we just have one more question for everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Last question. Here we go. What do you want to be remembered for?
In all caps. How I made people feel. How I loved. Living authentically. Honesty. I want people to feel impacted by my life. Made people feel good. Always having the right piece for lifting and supporting a moment. Want to be remembered for who I truly am. It's all so relatable. I relate to all this so much.
You're so good.
My vulnerability. Are you all ready to bring this kind of heart, this kind of real heart into what you're doing with your artist work? Into how you're talking about what it is that you do in the music industry? Because that's what we're talking about here.
All right. Wrapping it up. That's the end of 2 minutes is up. So many good ones in here that I feel like as you share them, it gives other people that, oh yeah, I want to do that too. Oh yeah, like they can add it to their list. You guys can have all these ideas to pull from as you are creating your homework tonight, because the questions here are going to help inform you in putting it all together and creating something that is substantial that you can read. Your mission statement. You want to share the next part, John?
Yeah, sure. So what we're talking about here, so the homework for tonight, for today, /tonight, /tomorrow morning, if you got to like, do like I sometimes did when I was in college and just really like cram session it, that happens. That's okay. We're not here to judge or anything like that. How fast you get this work done. But your homework for tonight is to create a mission statement and a vision statement. So I'm going to give a couple of examples here. Just it's one artist, but an example of each. So I'm just going to drop these in the chat. Hopefully this isn't too much copy for the chat to handle. Let's see. Sometimes it can be a little weird. Okay, it dropped in okay. So I'm just going to read these. And one's a mission statement from Jason Mraz's foundation. Jason Mraz is one of my favorite artists, one of my idols. And he has a foundation that has a mission statement. And then also he has a vision statement as an artist. So I took both of those things because we want you to write your own mission statement, your own vision statement. So we're going to first go over these real quick and then just relay through the homework how to write each one of these. So first off, the mission statement. This is an example from Jason Mraz's foundation. I did a little bit of redacting at the very beginning, but it's pretty much word for word exactly what it is. The Jason Mraz Foundation serves to shine for inclusive arts education and the advancement of equality. Through it all, Jason Mraz continually confirms and celebrates music's myriad forms and miraculous power, inspiring and delighting his countless fans around the world. That's mission statement. And this is the vision statement for him as an artist. Our vision for the future is that a global shift in consciousness has occurred in which all people have the same rights and opportunities to grow, love, and learn. Dreams are being fulfilled. Regeneration is the model for living, working, and playing. A new paradigm for health and well-being prevails. Mother Earth is honored. Communities are thriving and support each other, infused with and celebrating the magic of the arts. People are contributing their unique gifts and experiencing freedom, wholeness, and joy. Life is inspiring. So the mission is, what is your purpose? And then the vision is like, what do you set to accomplish by applying your purpose? Again, the mission is, what's your purpose? And the vision is, what do you set to accomplish by applying that purpose that you have? So the homework here is it's two parts. The mission statement. What will you do and stand for as a music maker? Don't worry, you don't have to write all this down. We're going to be dropping in a post with both of the questions. It's all going to be in there in the Facebook group. So definitely, if you aren't a part of the Facebook group, definitely become a part of that Sync It Facebook group, because we're going to drop it right in there for you to respond with your homework. Question number 1, what will you do and stand for as a music maker? Write a mission statement, 2 to 3 sentences long, for your brand as a music maker. Include your goals and what service to the world you intend to render in order to achieve them. That's what your mission statement is. And then your vision statement, because visions and missions, they go hand in hand. Write a vision statement for your brand, 2 to 3 sentences long. What will the world look and feel like once you've achieved what you've set out to do in your mission statement? What do you strive for? What do you envision for yourself as a music maker and for the whole world that you're going to thrive in? Definitely, Kendra, the mission statement and the vision statement can be like 1 sentence each. They can be very simple. Actually, if you go in and you type in mission and vision statement into Google, it'll pull up a bunch of different corporate ones, and you can see like how you look at the ones for like Nike and Amazon and like big corporations, and they're usually like 1 sentence long. So it doesn't have to be this big epic thing. Actually, the vision statement for Jason Mraz, I left it in. It was like 5 or 6 sentences. I wouldn't suggest starting out with like writing that big brick of copy, because it's probably going to be hard to like condense everything that you're trying to say. I think it's going to be more important to like make some very important distilled sentences than something that's like long and overflowing at first. It can definitely be less epic. And not everybody has the same big, huge goals either. Like, that's another thing too. I just want to encourage everybody, don't feel like you need to be the next person. You don't need to be the next like big, huge artist. You don't have to do that. If that's not what it feels like you need to do in your heart, you know, your goals are going to be different from everybody else's. But just don't let that be something, if it's something that you really want, but you're just not going to allow yourself to have it, that's a whole other thing. So like, just make sure that that's not what's going on there. But, you know, definitely, you can definitely temper things down if it doesn't feel appropriate for you, doesn't feel like it's right for you. It's not a match for your brand and what you want to create. You know, just create a mission and a vision that works for you. Like changing the life of one person rather than the whole world. I would say that like changing the life of one person is how you start changing the life of everybody in the world. That's all you can do. When you don't have a fan base and stuff like that, you know, if I know like when I was first starting out, nobody was listening to my music. But I had a couple of times where I did something, I won't tell a story because it's going to take forever to tell it, but, you know, I've had a couple of times where I just realized the power and the impact of music. And then I started to realize, wow, if my music's having this effect on one person, it's got to be affecting a lot of people in some kind of way. Yeah. So that's the homework assignment. We're going to drop this in. Don't worry if you didn't jot it down. We didn't want you to jot it down here, but hopefully you got a ton out of this. We had so much fun diving into the why of this. This is all really important stuff. We're going to be carrying this momentum throughout the week. Tomorrow we're going to start diving into the one sheets, the like matches the name of this challenge, One Sheet Wonders. We're going to actually talk about one sheets and get you starting to make those tomorrow.
Woo-hoo!
So y'all ready to start making some one sheets? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're feeling inspired, you feel like you got closer to your why, and you're ready to start putting this onto paper, start putting this onto the screen so that you can start putting this into the world. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been so much fun. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time and your attention and your heart, and really just being willing to listen to it and let that be expressed through the words. So appreciate you all showing up for this. We're going to be here for you 1,000%. Just drop in the chat, drop any questions to us. You're welcome to reach out to us. We're here to help and support you throughout this challenge. And until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. All right?
All right, listen, so we have base camp call right now. Hop on with me for that if you're in base camp. And then I have a public listening session today at noon. So definitely submit your songs for that to indie.com/listening session if you want to join and get some feedback on your songs. All right, see you in base camp, guys.
I don't know what it is. What time do you